Okay, welcome here to video number 2 on training for the one thing, this magical Zoom event that is going to help you take and elevate your business to a completely different level. So we talked about in the previous video, we talked about mindset, the mindset that you're gonna need as a leader to really cascade this to your team and to understand the hows and whys behind everything that we're doing here. And now I'm going to take you into the prep for the pre-event prep, basically what's going to take you into setting this event up so that it can go on without a hitch, right? So that you can have this event be smooth running. Please note that your first event is going to be feeling to you somewhat of a hot mess, okay? Because you're not going to have it perfected in one event. It took about 3 events for me to really feel like, we had it under control. And I'm hoping that with my tips here for you, that's actually going to go and lessen the learning curve of this and make it a lot more efficient process for you. So with this event, first, of course, you have to get a date and a time set and really think about your network and where the majority of your team's networks are, and try to pick a time zone or a time and really be conscious of other time zones too, right? Really understanding that it is going to have an impact, as well as picking which day of the week that you're doing it, right? So if you know that there is a big long weekend or a holiday weekend or whatever it may be, that maybe putting it on that Friday or that Monday isn't the best idea, right? Really being intentional and focused on what date and what time are you doing this on, because so many events fail just because of that, right? How many times have you either heard or held an event of your own and you're like, well, people didn't come because, it was Canada Day or July 4th or something along those lines, where you were set up to fail before you even began because of the event date that you chose. The time can do the same thing, okay? The time can do the same thing. And with time, yes, that's a lot more difficult, especially if you have an organization that spans multiple time zones, right? But that's where majority has to rule there, right? And you can switch it up, right? You can switch it up and do events at different time zones throughout the course of it all. And we have done that, and it has worked out really well for us as well, especially when you're trying to reach the audience in a different country, right? So maybe you are looking into the UK, or when our company is going to be launching into many different countries soon, and I am completely aware that we will be playing with time zones and we will be changing things up in order to satisfy the new network that our company has acquired just by simply launching. So we do know we're going to have a steep hill there in figuring that out, because our company is planning on launching a ton of new countries in the next little bit. After you have your date and time picked, create a Facebook event. Yes, we're not doing this on Facebook, but you do need a place that you can go and have people send people to get the info, to understand what time it's going to be at, what are the things that are happening in the event, right? So talking about the giveaways that you have happening, our team personally does 4 giveaways. We do a giveaway about every 15 minutes, and we talked about that in there. Also stating, our large ticket item, our large prize, is what we call a hard start giveaway, okay? So we actually educate and we tell, it's part of our invite process, is that all of our people are telling people, we usually run ours at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want your name to be in the draw for the large ticket item, you need to be on the line before 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, pictures are being taken of the event list, and that is who goes in the draw, okay? So with that part. Also, as your team, depending on the size of your team, of course, and your organization, but if you are starting with a smaller team, this won't really be necessary right away. But as your team grows, this becomes necessary, and that is going to be assigning people who are going to be responsible for, number 1, taking a picture of the participants list, then sending it to someone else who's going to type it all out, copy and paste it, and sending it to the organizer, okay? So that they can do the draw. Be prepared that you're going to maybe need to have, depending on the turnout that you have, you're going to need to have about 1 person for typing for every 25 people at your event. That's the rule of thumb that I personally use. for it. And it's not always perfect, and go with the flow. Do not get stuck in the details. If you can't get 4 and you know you're gonna have 100 people there, then make it work with 2. But the organizer, the MC of the event, should not be the one typing it out, because your job is very important in understanding that you are the glue. You're going to be the one that is going to kind of keep the flow of the event going and making sure that it's staying very positive. All right, so in your Facebook event, you're also going to be listing in there the times. The Zoom room number is going to be in that event, so people can go and simply send that link to their prospects. All right, and then they're going to be able to go and just remind their prospects before. They're not going to just be continuously sending out these links and these different numbers and everything like that in there. It's also a really good idea to have an explanation as to what Zoom is, right? Because our prospects might not even know what Zoom is. So in that Facebook event, you can save so many questions that people are going to be asking down the line if you just keep putting answers in the description on the event. All right. It's also a really great thing is to have it so that your Facebook event is posted by someone with a business page, because you can promote the event that way as well, right? And it also will take the notifications for the event and put them in a different section of your Facebook, so it does keep your mind very organized when it comes to it. You also want to have your speaker list done as soon as possible. We don't want to just be saying like the night before the event, reaching out to 7 or 8 people, which is what I usually suggest that you keep the speaking size to. 6 to 7 is perfect. 8 if you have a really good line of people who you know are going to stay on time, okay? But you want to have that done relatively soon and quick. Yes, that can sometimes, depending on the time of the year or the certain weeks, can be difficult to be able to get all these people to commit, but you have lists of people that you can have speak on this event, because like we talked about, anyone who has pushed accept can speak on this event. So I want to talk about the speaker list itself. All right, so how are you going to pick these people that are going to speak? Because you really have this like massive pool that you can pull from. It's anybody on your team who has pushed accept, right? So when you have a smaller organization, that will be quite simple, right? If you only have 8 people on your team, well then guess what? All 8 of you are speaking, right? But if you are in a situation where you have maybe 50, 100, or maybe thousands, how do you pick, right? How do you pick? Like I said in the mindset part, is that you do bring in one person who has a story of like success. Okay, I'm not saying this doesn't have to be $1 million earner in your company. This does not have to be a top 10 income earner. Just someone who has had success. You can have that. And more of like a rags to riches, maybe a big why that came. You can have one of those. Okay, but you do not want a call filled with them. That is emotionally exhausting for prospects as well. Okay, the other parts is you want to look, and I personally, this is what I do, is I actually pay very close attention first to my team page and Instagram and stuff like that, and see, you know, which people are really going for it, right? What are the people that, no matter their level, whether or not they maybe haven't ranked up yet, or maybe they've ranked up a couple times, or maybe they are really killing it and they are higher up, I pay close attention to that, and then those are how I kind of pick. Also, you can pull a report and find out, you know, maybe there's someone in your organization who you don't even know exists if you have a big team, but you can pull a historical rank and volume report in your back office, and you can go and see, like, maybe there's this person on level 7 that had, you know, 2,000 in volume last month, but they don't have any team. That's someone that you can bring on as a speaker into your event, and they're going to elevate, they're going to have confidence, and they're going to be inviting like crazy for their network to come and see them speak, because they've been telling their network how awesome this money thing is, and now they're going to get social accreditation from you by inviting them to come speak, and their network is also going to have an opportunity to see them and their business opportunity in a different light, right? So you can go through and really dig through there and find people in that way. Also, hairstylists, because you know, I work with a hair care company, and so I love to have hairstylists come on and speak, because it brings that realness to that career type, right? So if you are with a health and wellness company, if it's a nutritionist, if you are with a, you know, tech company, medical company, whatever they can be, but you can bring in people who are more specialized to what you are distributing, right? So think about it in that way. And then you really want to go and take those people make sure they understand what they're going to be speaking on. It is only 5 minutes, and you're not going to believe this as a leader, but how difficult you make this sound to the speakers is how difficult they're going to make it. So your job is not to overcomplicate this. Your job is to just keep reminding them that this is 5 minutes and you're pushing, you're speaking on, how this has helped you grow. You're speaking on, okay, maybe you're speaking on the founder story or your rags like to riches, that one there. But the majority of them are going to be speaking on why I pushed accept. Right? And so they're gonna be like asking you, your team is gonna come and be like, I don't know what am I speaking on? I need you to help me, I need you to listen, all of this stuff. And you're like looking at that and you're like, okay, you're super overthinking this right now. And you're just gonna be like, why did you push accept? Well, this, and this. Okay, that's what you're speaking on. You want them to see that this isn't rocket science. This isn't that hard, right? Because if you can make them believe a week and a half out from the event that it's not that hard, they're going to get more nervous as it gets closer. But if they're already starting up out here and then the week goes on or the 10 days or whatever it is goes on, they're just going to get more and more nervous. So we want to bring their nervous point down as low as possible because they're going to be nervous, especially if it is one of their very first time speaking. So making sure that you are working with those people and understanding that. As a leader, you are going to be the one creating marketing material, especially at the beginning. So it's going to be, making the Facebook event, making images and graphics that they're going to be able to use to advertise what the giveaway is going to be if there is one, right? Or maybe you're not doing a advertisement of the giveaway, but you're saying that there are giveaways, advertisements that are like save the dates, invites. I personally don't think that you should ever be posting your Zoom room number on the invites. You can direct them if they're interested to the Facebook page where it's at, because we really want to encourage our team and we want to kind of remove the opportunity for them to just go and spam people. We don't want that. And so if you put too much information on your graphics, your team is going to get nervous, and just out of pure nerves and like fear, they're just going to send it or not send it at all. Right? There's not going to be this personal invite aspect. And so you're going to be leading up to this event. You're going to be stressing to your team all the time. Every chance that you have, you get in front of your team, whether it's a team training call, one-on-ones with them, at other events with them, you are going to be talking about what they're going to do to maximize this next event. Talking about the personal invite. You are going to be teaching your team, and you're going to have multiple times actually to teach every single person on your team the power of the personal invite. Right? So before, at least in my organization, right, we would talk about inviting people when we would have an event. And it was hard as a leader when there's an event happening, maybe a province or a state over, or, a flight away, and you're not going to be there. It was kind of hard to leverage yourself as a leader, right? Unless you were getting to all of those events and it was not all happening at the same time. It is hard as a leader to leverage yourself and have it go the distance. Right? But with this event, every single person in your team has this event as an opportunity for them. So you get to leverage yourself a lot higher, so you can have power hours that are dedicated to going and creating the personal invite and reaching out to people and doing all of those things. So it's very powerful if you go and you have that, as well as the personal development aspect, right? Where it's like your speakers, right? You're doing 2 a month and you're having 7 to 8 speakers. So every single month you're having approximately 16 people, different people on your team usually speaking, right? So you're going to be encouraging them, if they're nervous, go read a personal development book, get more comfortable, get more confident. These tools here are going to build for the event. And if someone wants to speak on your event, because you're going to have people message you being like, I would love to be a speaker on one of your Zoom calls, and you can be like, perfect, right? If you want to be a speaker, let's get you personally developing right now. Let's get you reading books. Let's get you elevating yourself right now. Okay. Then you're also going to be educating your team on the many different ways they can use this event, right? You're going to be blasting it with that. Okay. You're going to be blasting them with how they can go and educate their team on this event. So it's like, hey, you got new people, have them plan their lunch parties to go and be around at the same time as this event so they can plug in and hear all of that. You're going to be saying oh, hey, invite some people over, hold an event at your house. If you have a person on your team who really likes to do in-person stuff, Have them invite people to their house during the event and creating the event inside the event. Think bigger. You as the leader, you have to understand your team is only going to think 80% as big as you are. Okay? So you got to get out of your box. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you got to start thinking about ways that you can empower them to go bigger and to think different and to change things. Okay, so once you have your event, okay, you have your event, it's the day, it's coming. You're gonna be nervous as a leader. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I want this to work so bad. At least that's how I feel for every single event. It doesn't matter, we're stepping into now our 7th one, and I still get nervous for like, are people gonna show up, da da da. Guess what? People keep showing up every single time, and it's wonderful. But you're gonna be on early, okay? Because you are going to be creating the glue there. You're going to be just chatting, keeping it light, and then letting people know. I like to get on early so that I can remind people, like, hey, make sure people are getting on for the Hard Start giveaway prize, all of that kind of stuff, right? Getting into the chats that you have with your team and on your team page, being like, remember, call starts, like, remind people, okay? Remind people. Don't think that people should just remember and know, because especially at the beginning, no one is going to see this as an event as important as you do, right? I get on early also so that I'm able to go and follow up and reach out and remind the people who I've invited to the event, right? Because I'm inviting people. This event and this platform has actually made it so that I can invite people. Okay, there's a lot less work that goes into this event, believe it or not, than goes into an in-person event. In an in-person event, I mean, if you are like me and you felt it this way, that sometimes when I would be planning those, I would be so exhausted from planning them that I wouldn't have time to invite people of my own, right? So then I'm spending that prep time, then telling my team, like, the 10 minutes before the event, you need to be reaching out to the people that you've invited on and reminding them, making sure they get on. And then when the event starts, you're gonna go and you're gonna say things like, as your people are popping on, especially before it starts and before you do the screenshot for the giveaways, be like, everyone, like, make sure you change the name. If it just says like iPhone, make sure you change it to your name, because on our team, it's very black and white. If it's iPhone, even if you win, you don't get the prize, because we just don't have time, and it just takes way too much effort to go and search out who is this specific iPhone winner, right? So everyone has to have their name there, or even their phone number, whatever it may be, something that we can identify them by. And they have to be on, I always repeat, at the beginning of the event, you have to be on at the time that the draw happens in order to win. So then we open it up there, welcome everyone, and we jump right in. As soon as the screenshots have been taken, my worker bees on the side are typing all the stuff out, getting it ready, and getting it ready to be sent over so that we can do that Hard Start draw right away, okay, as quickly as possible. So then we start and we jump right in. I'm introing the speaker, I mute myself, they jump on. Then I connect it, I talk a little bit about it, go into the next one. I'm watching the clock. Usually then I get a thumbs up from someone, or a message from someone, and then the list from those start to show. I share my screen, pull up the draw, and go. Do the draw. Then the next one comes, screenshots go, people type it all out, and we keep going like that 4 times throughout the call, right? So we do it in that way. It just goes off like that, right? The excitement is happening. As a leader, I'm taking pictures of the screens when people are speaking, so I'm getting it ready and doing all of those parts for what you're gonna see in a coming video, which is post-event, right? But I'm taking pictures, I'm taking recordings, I'm encouraging other leaders to take pictures and recordings to be shared via social media and to love on people, because, who doesn't get super pumped when someone tags you or mentions you in an Insta story or something like that, right? Like, people love that. People get excited about that, so do that for your team. It's also giving you an opportunity to recognize, right? So taking the pictures, taking the video recordings, listening, nodding along. People can still see you. You are on Zoom, so you need to have your energy going, right? And you need to be the one that creates the energy. While people are speaking, be in that Zoom chat. Getting people to feel comfortable in the Zoom chat to talk, right? Because then people are speaking, that Zoom chat is firing up, going off, and like, yeah, so good, oh my gosh, that's amazing, da 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 da. And the speakers can see that, right? And they're gonna get excited and they're gonna feel comfortable. They're gonna see people on the screens like smiling, crying, laughing at their jokes. Encourage everyone, if they're comfortable, to have their cameras on, right? Because we're all friends here, kind of thing. So those are the things that you're gonna do in that event. You're gonna lead it all the way up to the end, and then you're gonna close the event. You as the leader or the closer, okay? So don't diminish your position in your mind, but don't put yourself on a pedestal. And you're gonna close it, and you're just gonna use it to close people. You're gonna say things along the lines like, you know, if you're thinking about this and you've been thinking about this, just give it a shot. Worst case scenario. If you need more information, reach out to the person who sent you here, and they would be happy to connect you with another person who can go deeper into the specifics of our opportunity, right? Because we're not here to answer all the questions. As a matter of fact, if done properly, this event is going to create so many more productive questions for your team and their network that they're actually going to have people to follow up with and connect and keep exposing along the way, because we know it takes 5 to 7 exposures for someone to say yes. So with that, you are going to find your way. You are going to make mistakes along this way, but stay consistent, keep the mindset sharp, keep it proper, okay? And bring in the right people and excite your team about it, and you will have this go off without a hitch.